Thank you, Kirsten. And Kirsten, why don't you just close the waiting room, let everyone in all together. Hi, everybody, welcome. So nice to see everyone. Just resource room. So give everybody 1 or 2 more minutes to get on, but while you're doing that, I would love it if everybody would introduce themselves in the chat and put your name, your organization, if you're a Thrive member, and what you're hoping to get out of today's event. Is there one specific thing? If there isn't a specific thing, that's fine too. Let us know that you're just here in general. But we'd love to hear who's in the room. And we also think that it's great for everyone to know who else is in the room so that they can know, learn a little bit about the community. So welcome, I'm Petra Sultan. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Education for Thrive. I'm here with my very shy colleagues, Georgia Ferg, the Executive Director, and Kirsten Scheidek, who both are off camera today. We'll go to the next slide and tell you what we're doing today. So first, we're doing introductions in chat, which hopefully everybody's doing now. So again, let us know what organization you're from, if you're a Thrive member, and if you what you're hoping to get out of today. Then after that, we're going to have presentations from our 3 special guests, and then we will talk a little bit about Thrive. One of the purposes of these Thrive resource rooms is to let everyone, Thrive members, Thrive non-members, know more about Thrive, because we do a lot of different things, and often with all the noise and all the newsletters, some of it gets lost. So our speakers today are Grace Millward from Stashrun, Eli Poblitz, who's a transition specialist from the San Mateo Union High School District from the Transition Partnership Program, and Yvette Zepeda, who's Program Director from Stanford Community Service Work Study and Student Employment Program. So we're actually going to go straight to those presentations. So Grace.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all, and to those who will be joining with the recording as well. So my name's Grace. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Stashrun. We're a Palo Alto-based startup just located here next to Stanford. We're still in our infancy, but we've had some really explosive traction. So Stashrun is a tool that helps consumers take action on the causes that they're passionate about, together with their favorite brands. And what's really unique about Stashrun is it's focused on fundraising from the next generation, so millennials and Gen Z, and it does this by engaging that generation through their favorite brands, who are the ones who ultimately make donations that consumers can direct to causes, or more specifically to the amazing nonprofits who are taking action on those causes. So how I'd like to run the session today is actually with a demo, because I think it's really exciting to show people what we're building. So you're going to get probably about 5 minutes of live demo. Then I'll talk to you a little bit about the implementation side, the beta that we're running currently, how your nonprofit can be involved. And then I might open up to a question or two if we've got time. So I'll just share my screen. All right, so the way Stashrun works is it's ultimately a platform that sits at the intersection of nonprofits, consumers, and brands. And so the consumer-facing side of the platform is an app that specifically right now college students can access. So we piloted this at UC Berkeley, and we're now expanding to 5 colleges across the US, including Stanford, Harvard, MIT, and Austin, Texas. However, we're building up an amazing list of other colleges to join. It's a bit like the same kind of strategy that Facebook use. or Bumble and Venmo building through college campuses. But we've spent a lot of time in Berkeley X Labs really understanding the donation and philanthropic behaviors of younger generations. And that's translated into this tool that we've ultimately A/B tested and built together with millennials and Gen Z in college. So right now, only students can log on to the app, and this is what they'll see. Can everyone see that at the moment? Okay, great. So Stashrun, support causes you love with dollars from brands who care too. Straight away, the app drops them into what we call a cause marketplace. These trending hashtags up the top are actually scraping from the individual user's social media. So it can be very localized and on trend, and also pick up what's going on in your networks. What we found in our research is that young people really are leading digital activism online in terms of using their social media like Instagram to talk about these different causes. But when we ask them what nonprofits they partner with to take action, frankly, there was crickets. It was a really big gap there. So this is an opportunity for them to explore different campaigns under those cause areas. The campaigns are each launched by different nonprofits that are taking action, whether that is for like COVID, Black Lives Matter, youth, the environment. What we're really also teaching these younger generations of donors is that it's not about just one solo nonprofit, but actually the collective, that like something like COVID isn't just about hand sanitizer and masks. It's about food insecurity and lack of education to books or to schools. And it's important to note here as well that the nonprofits we're working with, like for instance, this campaign is by World Vision. So huge global nonprofits, but also down to small localized nonprofits as well. Like we're doing a lot of testing to understand how students connect with and resonate with causes and nonprofits in their local area. So as a nonprofit, you can launch these campaigns on Stashrun. They're very dynamic. They use your existing content. They're quantifiable and time bound. So like how many meals will you provide? How many trees will you plant? The user can read about all of this info on the campaign itself, which comes from you. And you also get your own profile. Like this is World Vision's. Wow. It's scraping from their social media so the user can click through. It's also keeping like a running time ledger of
we
your
are
impact.
healthy, happy children.
You can see here, like we've just built in recently, even volunteer buttons, which is so important for those nonprofits in local communities who are trying to get volunteers from these student groups or organizations.
With big dreams.
So that's really how the user connects with and engages. But where the magic happens is when the individual hits that support button, we then match them with a brand who shares their values and who wants to make a donation. So GoPro is one of the brands in our beta currently. The important thing to note here is GoPro is going to be the one sending the money to that nonprofit campaign. But for the user, they're connecting with GoPro, and GoPro is like the hero brand that steps in and shows them what they care about. So they're letting that money or that donation transact through their consumers' hands. And then this is what we call a coin drop. If everyone can just imagine that the user's using their finger to tap these coins, all of these coins are real money that's being stashed in the right-hand corner for the cause or the campaign that the user has selected. So for GoPro, this is like the halo effect moment where the user's attributing that donation back to the brand. It's like an interactive cause marketing ad. And just like that, in 30 seconds, the user's given $1.36 to support that nonprofit campaign without spending any of their own money, but while learning about a really important nonprofit, getting closer to the cause, and also connecting with a brand that shares their values. I know we don't have much time, so I'm not going to be able to go through all the other features. I'll just tell you quickly, users can share campaigns between friends, send coin drops. All of this gets listed on their profile, so the individual user can keep updated with other campaigns around those causes, click into them. There's so many more dynamic things that they can do, but once they put this on public, we're calling them impact influencers, not social influencers. So it's really like a platform just for causes, like LinkedIn's for business, Instagram's for green smoothies and handbags. Stashrun is a place where you can showcase who you are and what you care about for yourself and for your peers. And so all of that happens there, and there's all kinds of other dynamic features for the brands. So that's all the time that I have to show you in the demo today. So I might just quickly talk a little bit about the implementation side of this. So we're literally building this platform in real time. As I said, we're just moving from our pilot now to our beta. We have about 60 brands and nonprofits on currently. We individually assess each nonprofit to look at the fit. Frankly, like our most important goal from a user perspective is to make it a really dynamic experience where they can find a lot of nonprofit campaigns that help them take action in different areas that they feel passionately about. And so like we have a base criteria, but so long as you're a registered nonprofit, you can apply to be on Stashrun. And the most exciting part is that right now we're currently testing with our own funds. We're venture backed. So nonprofits can trial this new technology completely for free. And so we've got our own test budget at the moment. Once that runs out, we'll come back to you with an analytics report to show you how your campaigns performed, the engagement that you got across those campuses, but it won't cost you anything at this point to participate. And then once we do go live, like we are working out our model with brands to have brands pay Stashrun, but essentially, if I can just share really quickly one last slide here. The value prop to nonprofits is that there is no upfront cost to run a campaign on Stashrun. Like other nonprofits that we've spoken to are spending $50 to $300 to acquire a donor, which is huge. So really it's a plug and play solution for nonprofits where it can take you all of a matter of minutes to mobilize a campaign on Stashrun, attach it to a hashtag, and then be attracting these new donations through the corporate channels or coming from brands. And we're also expanding brands to include like celebrities as well. It could even be like a sporting team that's donating in the wake of the global pandemic. So there are a few value props up there, but really it's about you getting this brand building opportunity, this marketing and visibility, and building a meaningful community with donor retention so that those individual users aren't just going to give once, but they're going to keep engaging with your nonprofit. Okay, so I might open up to one question quickly to finish it off, but that was, yeah, a big speed run through a lot of information, and I'll also circulate the slides for the deck afterwards for people to look through in their own time. Matt?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Thrive, for hosting this event. Great presentation, and just really interested in this. It just seems like such an awesome platform. My question is, I'm wondering if you have measures to prevent very large multinational NGOs from dominating the platform in this space.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and it's something that we're working on in the design of the product. So really, like, Stashrun's building out algorithms that will uniquely understand the users and introduce targeting into donations. So for instance, it will see like what your friends and family are connecting with. Also, if you are able, if your nonprofit receives a donation, the algorithm will retarget those users instead of throwing up campaigns that don't connect with the users. Say like, I don't know, you're an animal rights nonprofit. It's not going to start showing you to users who are like, I don't know, hunters. So we're looking at how those algorithms can understand the user and then also diversify the types of nonprofits, and adding in other filtering aspects like geolocation, for instance, is another opportunity for smaller nonprofits to show, hey, here's what we're doing in your local community just down the road. So yeah, that's part of like the algorithm work that we're doing at the moment in how it shows what's trending and what's popular even in very local communities. For instance, like just at schools, what's showing up for Stanford students may not be the same as what's showing up over at Harvard. So I think there's lots of opportunity to diversify there. And we're currently in our testing working with, as I said, a huge spectrum of nonprofits on that sliding scale, and actually doing research into the different ways that users engage with them.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna Grace. And just like Anna Grace said, we will be sending out lots of information afterwards. So make sure that you have, including contact information. So if you have more questions, you'll be able to ask directly. Thank you so much for that presentation. It's such an exciting technology. It is such a new, innovative thing. And we wish you all the best and hope that a lot of our nonprofits sign up.
Thank you so much, and thanks to Thrive for hosting this and including us in the conversation.
Okay, and next we have Eli. Eli, do you have some slides to share?
Yeah, let me get to them. Good morning, everyone. Let me get to the slide. 1 second. Okay. First of all, that app seemed very cool for Stashrun. It's great to see what technology is doing. So my name is Eli Poblitz, and I work for San Mateo Union High School District, and I coordinate a program with our school district and a state agency, the California Department of Rehabilitation, that supports students with disabilities across our 7 campuses with work-based learning. The program that we have is very similar to what other districts in our county, in San Mateo County, have. Even though I represent the territory of San Mateo from San Bruno down to southern San Mateo, our sister districts in Sequoia or Jefferson, which, South City, all have very similar programs. So even though I'm presenting today, the opportunities that I'm sharing might be open in cities outside of our territory with another school district. Let me see. One second, I just got to move my screen around. I'm on a small screen today. So yeah, the campuses that I have that supports our students with disabilities are Aragon, Burlingame, Cappuccino, Hillsdale, Mills, Peninsula, and San Mateo High School. And I work with students specifically who are 16 years and older, who have an IEP. And that means that they qualify for special education services with either a mild to moderate disability or more of a moderate to severe disability, which might be like intellectual disability or autism. And what happens is, because of the contract I have with the Department of Rehabilitation, I am able to work with employers and nonprofits and agencies in our community to do work-based learning. And I'm able to set up exploratory work experiences for our students, where students go into an employer or an agency and learn entry-level skills, and they're paid through the program that I coordinate. So I'm able to offer up to 100 hours of work experience for students when they go into this exploratory setting. And oftentimes these work experiences are really the game changers for these students in their lives, because it builds that confidence and that foundation where they're able to realize that they can, do what it takes to be an employee, and that they can grow from those experiences. With my program and the resources I have to place students in work-based learning situations, I operate, or our program operates during the school year, and we also operate, we have a new contract that helps us operate during the summer. And so right now across our school district, we have probably about 90 students who are doing work-based learning right now across the school district in all kinds of different settings. A lot of it's retail. So, you will find us in Petco or Marshalls or Walgreens. But we also have nonprofits. We have Sunrisus Dental. We work with the San Mateo Medical Center. And then we have just agencies. We have USGS and some other Boys and Girls Club and other agencies. And all of these partnerships basically are opening their door and allowing our students to get these experiences that they're able to grow from. When students in my school district are placed with a new partner or an existing partner, either we have 2 different ways to place students. Either they're individual placements, and when they are an individual placement, that means the student probably doesn't need too much extra support from our staff. They just need someone at whatever entity, whatever agency, to just provide a point of contact and kind of a mentor within the business setting or nonprofit setting, where the student is able to really know who their go-to person is, and and that person goes the extra mile just to make sure that the student is understanding their task and can move forward. And we also have a small group model, and those are for our students students who may have a little bit more significant disabilities, and those students go into a work site usually with 2 or 3 students and one of our district-led job coaches. So what happens is when the agency or an employer is giving the duties, the expected duties to the students, the job coach is really the one who's becomes the kind of the mini manager, because they learn the duties as the students are learning it, and it makes sure that the employers don't have to take too much time with training for the students, and that the students get the support they need by our district staff. Let me see. So I really I streamlined my presentation. The last time I presented, I had way too many facts in there and information. So this is a pretty short and sweet presentation because I wanted to leave more time for questions and answers with all of you. You know, to work with nonprofits has always, been a positive experience for our district. It always seems like the nonprofits have a better training program than than even retail do. So it just seems like onboarding and that empathy and the when I was talking before about having a mentor or kind of point of contact person, it always seems like the nonprofits that we've worked with have really been strong partners for us and given really rich entry-level work experiences. So I'm really excited to be here in front of all of these nonprofits, and thank you Thrive for giving me this opportunity to introduce my program. I will share the slideshow afterwards. We recently had a newspaper article, and we're in San Mateo Journal. It was a really great write-up. It highlighted the spirit of what we do. And then also just last week, I presented to the board a video slideshow. And so I had our staff, across many of our work sites take photos of the students working, and you could just see, the smiles. You can see the meaningfulness of these entry-level work experiences where employers have opened their doors so these students can really thrive. So with that being said, I will stop the slideshow, and I'll make sure to put the link into our chat after the questions and answers. So yeah, if any of you have any questions regarding my program, please let me know.
So what's fantastic about the program is that it's a double good. You're doing good both for the student and for your own organization. So we love that. We really appreciate your presentation, and we will send everyone out your contact information and your slideshow so people can follow up with you.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm always working on giving back and make sure that our families, our administration, our teachers, everyone knows who our partners are. So I'm constantly kind of, make sure that, when we have new partnerships, that it goes out in our newsletter, that it goes out into our kind of different, whether it's our social media from our district or whatever avenues they are. So yeah, so the recognition of who we're working with is always put out there. And thank you.
Thank you. And I know it was painful for you to cut all of the exciting things out of your program, out of your slideshow, but I appreciate that you made it short because we have a lot of exciting things going on. So
Yep.
With that, thank you, Eli. I'm going to pass it to you.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? You can. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Great. Sorry, I am away. I got called away in an emergency, so pardon me if things are a little bit slower. Let me see if I can share my slides. Okay. Got it. All right. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this session. I'm really excited about presenting today and presenting a little bit about the Haas Center, and then about the Community Service Work Study Program, and then just a little bit about some of the other opportunities that the Haas Center can provide and can collaborate with nonprofits in the area. Okay, if you see over there in the right-hand corner and probably in back of me, that's the picture of the Haas Center on campus. And just to tell you a little bit about that really quick, it was designed like a home because it was, the idea was that it's kind of the home, a home away from home for students, and where they can feel at home in the service work that they're doing. Okay, so just really quick, service is a part of Stanford's DNA. So even Jane Stanford talked about service back in 1902. So wanted to let you know that we're pulling from that, and that's threaded throughout all the work that we do here at the Haas Center. And it's the Haas Center for Public Service. I think everyone is familiar. Sorry. So the Haas Center is the first research institution to establish a comprehensive public service center. And our job basically is to inspire and prepare students to create a more just and sustainable world through service, scholarship, and community partnerships. And that's where we fall in with the community service work study, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. Briefly, I want to mention to you that all of our work as we prepare our students is embedded in these principles of ethical and effective service. So every student that goes out into the community to do work does some sort of preparation in terms of going through kind of what does respect for diversity mean, what does humility mean, preparation, clear expectations and commitments in relation to the service work that they are doing with the community. So we want to ensure and do as much as we can to help our students be as prepared as possible to communicate, to collaborate and help nonprofits, government agencies, and all the partners that we work with. Okay, and just again, Cardinal Service is a bold initiative that we started a few years ago. So it's bigger than the Haas Center. It's broken up into 4 kind of pillars: Cardinal Quarter, Cardinal Commitment, Cardinal Courses, Cardinal Careers. And I know some of you have worked with some of these different pillars in the past. I know that Cardinal Careers, so that's focused on our students that are going to be prepared, have done work, and now are going to be going out and to work with nonprofits and government agencies after graduation. Cardinal Courses over here is they are the group of staff that work with students and courses. Okay, so that's one area that some of the organizations might be interested in collaborating with, even after Cardinal Quarter. Sometimes we try to connect Cardinal Courses beforehand, before Cardinal Quarter, and afterwards. So that's one group that we work closely with. Cardinal Commitment works with the student groups specifically, and works with them to figure out ways to get them out there to do their service, whether they need transportation, whether you need some more preparation, that type of thing. And then Cardinal Quarter is where CSWS, or Community Service Work Study, falls under, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So Cardinal Quarter basically is a full-time summer quarter-long service experiences. And in the past, we've worked with, over 500 different opportunities we provided that many opportunities for students. We work with partners across in the Bay Area and United States. Specifically CSWS, I will skip this one, but CSWS has a program that runs in the summer and the academic year. And so the summer is part of Cardinal Quarter. The academic year is a separate program. So I'm going to run down, because I know we're on a time clock. So I'm going to run down some of the specifics about the Community Service Work Study Program. So it is co-administered by the Financial Aid Office. Okay. We have the summer and academic year programs, where the summer is slightly different. It's operates more like a fellowship, right? So during the summer, students can earn up to $7,000 an hour, $7,000 a quarter, and $21 an hour is how much they earn. Okay, and during the academic year, you can earn up to $3,500 at about $17 an hour, and that is based on the different job responsibilities. So the difference between a fellowship and CSWS is that CSWS is an actual employment, it's an actual job. So we will actually pay the student via time cards, and then we ask the partner to participate and pay 10% of the earnings. So during the summer, if the student earns $7,000, we will ask the partner to pay 10%. And this is part of the federal guidelines of this program. And so the partner organization would contribute $700 for the summer. So that's a great, it is a piece that we are working on, just so that you all know, as nonprofits, know that our work with nonprofits and government agencies and the Native American groups that we work specifically with, it's because of those small nonprofits and those groups that are not as resourced. We are trying to get that 10% waived. This year, we're told that it's not going to happen this year, but possibly next year. So please just keep that in mind. And I'd love to check in with you all if you're interested. And if the 10% is a barrier, check back with me next year, because we're trying to waive that partner piece. Okay. In terms of eligibility, organizations need to be a 501c3, a government agency, Native American group. They have to have a paid employee. There's no lobbying, no international work, no research available. And so you can work across the United States for a community service work study. So a lot of students, one of the draws is they can go back home and give back to their own community. So if they, worked for Habitat for Humanity back home, they can go back and work with them and get paid $21 an hour and earn up to $7,000 over the summer. And we do lots of different preparation and that type of thing. I do have links here. I'm not sure about my time check, but I can go through more information. But Petra, where are we with our time? Do I have a few more minutes or?
You can take a few more minutes. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I want to leave time for questions also, because this is a robust program. We usually have about 100 students go out into the community, and about a little bit less than half of those stay in the Bay Area. So about half of them go back home and give back to their communities, or some of them even go to different places that they, like 3 or 4 students will get together and plan to go to New York and live together and work and earn and explore New York, right? And so that's really exciting for them too. But we want to give students the opportunity to do whatever they can. We want to make this as broad as possible. But we do prepare our students, again, with the P's, the principles of effective service. We also provide handbooks for the students and for the supervisors. We have orientations. We in terms of this next bullet, the CSWS program resources, there's a link that I can pass along to you in terms of how to recruit students for this. I can send you samples of flyers that really we seem to find that really work with our students, because you can imagine our students receive so many flyers, here at Stanford. And so sometimes we try to find the ones that are the catchiest, right? So that we can help our nonprofits reach out to them. We also have a list of past placements that we've worked with. And so we often point our students to that list so that they can either work with those organizations, or hopefully it'll trigger another organization that they might be interested in. So in terms of the application process, we use something called Solo. So it's an application that is driven by the student. So the whole process is driven by the student. So once you have maybe talked with a student already and the student's interested and you're interested in the student, they would start the application. And after they enter their information, they would click on the partner org and they would enter your information, and that will trigger an application be sent to you. And then you will fill that piece out and upload your copy of the 501c3 and the agreement. And then we move forward from there. But the very first thing that needs to happen is we need to make sure that the student is eligible. As I said at the beginning, it's co-administered by the financial aid office. And so every single student that does this program, the financial aid office has to look them up and make sure that they have enough need. And during the summer, the need is a little bit different. So almost all the students that have some financial aid need, they are eligible during the summer. So there are thousands of students that are eligible during the summer program. So it's just kind of getting the word out and getting them interested in different organizations. And that's partly what we do. And that's partly what your organization would do too. If you are interested, you can send us a flyer and we'll be happy to send them out. And I could also send you this link that you can go to that adds you to a database. And that's where we send students. Thank you, everyone. I know I went fast, I'm sorry, but if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Yvette. This is a terrific opportunity again to have a Stanford student work either during the school year or over the summer. But right now is the time to start thinking about summer already. So we appreciate all three of our speakers. We hope that everyone in the room really got something out of it. Thrive Resource Room is new for us. This is the first time we're doing it, and we anticipate doing it every month, and we'll have different speakers from different organizations offering opportunities. Yvette, if you could take down your slide.
Sure.
We will move on. Are there any questions for Yvette? Great. Okay, now we're going to go to the Thrive portion of our event. So one of the things that I think we all experience is just information overload. And one of the things that we experience here at Thrive is having a hard time just with an elevator pitch to make sure that everyone knows what we do. So what I really want to focus on, not so much what Thrive does, but what we offer to nonprofits. So the next slide. Our big overarching theme is we strengthen people, we strengthen organizations, we strengthen communities. We do it through capacity building, cross-sector collaboration, and policy and advocacy. The next slide. We have a lot of different programs, and we hope that you're involved in some of them. But I also want to just show you how to use Thrive for resources. So we have Thrive action groups in arts and culture, children and education, environment sustainability. We often have quarterly events, and some of them are shown here, different kinds of nonprofit capacity building. Next slide. Some of the things that we're focusing on right now is a lot about recovery and rebuilding because of where we are, this unique moment in time. So the Strategic Alliance Initiative is very much focused on supporting nonprofits. How can nonprofits work together to support nonprofits essentially as businesses to make sure that they have the resources they need to be successful? And how can Thrive support that by creating different alliances and supporting those alliances? We've also been working with support from the county on COVID-19 community action teams. So these are organizations, nonprofits in our community that are trusted messengers. that are giving out COVID information, and we're the ones who kind of the go-between to help facilitate that communication between the government and the organizations. And something that's coming up that's new that we're very excited about is we're working on creating a COAD for San Mateo County. So COAD is Community Organizations Active in Disaster. And when there is a local disaster, generally, there's a lot of people who are responding to it. There are a lot of organizations are responding to it. The government's responding to it. And the coordination of that sometimes gets lost. And so many other counties have this, and San Mateo County weirdly does not. So we're going to start working on that. And so the idea is to create a place where everyone can meet and plan for a disaster. And when there's a disaster, have a central communications hub. So we'll be hearing more about that soon. And we'll be sending out some surveys and finding out who's interested in being a part of setting that up, because it's really a new thing. And next slide. We have a lot of events that support nonprofits, and one of them is this year-long series of stress management and different kinds of wellness, because I'm sure you all know, don't need to be told, that this has been stressful. It's been stressful for nonprofits. It's been stressful for nonprofit staff. So we're offering these, it's free to everyone. So Thrive is a membership-based organization. We appreciate our members, but a lot of the things we do are what we call community benefits, and it's really for everyone. And this is an example of that. Next slide. So another thing that we do a lot of is voting outreach, because we really feel like the most effective way to get change is through policy change, and the most effective way to have policy change is to have representatives that actually represent us. And we have very disparate rates of voting in this county. And so we've been working with the county as well as other nonprofits on voter outreach. We're going to have some interesting programs this year. In addition to doing this, which we have monthly meetings, everyone is welcome, we're going to be doing a toolkit this year that we'll go give to anyone who would like it, that basically explains not just how to vote, but why to vote. And it's something that you can take and you can give to your staff, and your staff can have a house party and talk about why to vote and how to vote. And if you're interested in that, please let us know. We'll be sending it out in our newsletter as well. Next slide. Our Children in Education Thrive Action Group has been focusing very much on out of school time this year, again, because of the pandemic. And our next thing is going to be about building the pipeline to get more diverse staff and teachers. I'm sure that all of you know that staffing is an issue across all of our, for everyone right now. And this is going to be focusing specifically on that. This is next Thursday, but we do meet monthly as well. And so, I can actually skip to the next slide. And the next slide. I'm going to show this later. So one of the ways we communicate all of the things we're doing is through newsletters. And we have a bunch of different newsletters, and you can actually choose which newsletters you would like to sign up for. And you can also choose issue areas, because not everyone is interested in all of the issue areas. So one of our newsletters is a Thrive Weekly, and that one has all of our events plus community events. So if you're a Thrive member, or even if you're not a Thrive member, then there's a small fee. You will send out, you can send us as a submit an event or an announcement, and we'll put it in the Thrive Weekly. The deadline is Friday, it goes out every Tuesday. And so in that you will find events that our community partners are putting on, also announcements, often if there's a grant opportunity, or if there's something that the county is wanting to communicate, that will all be in there. So I highly recommend Thrive Weekly, it's very useful. The Thrive Star, we send out periodically, and that's talks a lot about what Thrive is up to, what we're doing, what our themes are. Job board, so we have a weekly jobs newsletter, and again, if you're a Thrive member, you can submit your job opportunity for free. If you're not, there's a small fee, but that goes out weekly as well. So people who are looking for jobs in nonprofits are very likely to be on that mailing list. And so it's a good way to get connections. And then we have a policy and advocacy newsletter that goes out once a month, and that's much more focused in policy and advocacy. Sorry, can you guys still hear me? Because I just got a message about my AirPods. Okay, I'm going with you can still hear me. The nice thing about the policy and advocacy newsletter is also if you have something that you're interested in either Thrive advocating about, or that you just want to tell other people about that might be interested in advocating on behalf of whatever the issue is, you could submit that to me. Okay, next. Okay, I'd also like to do a quick tour of the website. So Kirsten, can you just bring up our website? There are a lot of different things within our website that are really useful. And because there's so much, sometimes it is hard to find all of them, but we have a page for grant opportunities. We have a page with resources that will list things like this. We have the page for events. Thank you. Kirsten, if you can just show things as I'm doing it. So here's how to submit an event at the top, and then our Thrive events. Can you go to special initiatives? Great. So here's our civic participation page. Thrive is going to be doing a lot of candidate forums coming up. So there will be a lot of information about all the candidate forums, not just the ones that Thrive is hosting, but also ones that other people are hosting. So as the elections come up, it's a great place to get lots of information about that. Could you also go just to our environment and sustainability page under special initiatives? So this is another place where you can find all of the information about our environment and sustainability work, including blogs of past events. So if you miss them, and then Kirsten, you can go ahead and turn off your screen. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that we have a YouTube channel. So when you miss events, if you've signed up for an event ahead of time, you will get a follow-up email. But if you haven't and you're just interested in an event that's happened, you can go to our YouTube channel. We had a lot of people, for instance, who weren't able to make our policing event, which was very well attended, but sometimes people can't make it. And so there were a lot of views on our YouTube channel of that. So I know that was a lot of information. Another thing that I think would be of interest is there's some free professional help through a thing called Catch a Fire. And if you're a member of Thrive, you can access that. It basically connects you with professionals who will do things for free, from accounting, coaching, graphic design, lots of different things. So it's really a terrific help. And the last thing I'll mention is that the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative community space is available for nonprofits in San Mateo County. So if you want any information about any of that, look on our website or reach out to me or to Kirsten. And I hope that answered some questions and gave you some more information about all of the things that we do. What I'd really love is just a minute or two if anybody has questions or even feedback, and then we'll let you go on your day. Does anybody have any questions or anything that was particularly helpful that they want to give us a shout out about? Okay. Well, then with that, I will say thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you being here. And thank you extra thank you to Anna, Grace, and Yvette and Eli for sharing with us. And let we'll go back, let your staff know that we're going to be doing this again, and keep an eye out for who the special speakers will be next time. Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.